Hey guys, it's me, Josh. This is the Skype for Business recap. I am about 2 to 3 weeks late again. Sorry, I don't know. I do know what my problem is. There's been a couple extremely busy weeks at work, and I'm trying to balance the best I can. But you guys know how it is. Sometimes, it gets a little hard to keep up with all that's going on. But trying to get over those busy project humps and hopefully get into a very regular cadence once again here. But we are here at Tuesday earlier in the week, and we've got some big news from the last few weeks to share. So I'm going to dive into some of that. Events Inspire is I think it's around the corner. I don't remember the exact dates for Inspire, but that I don't think it's already happening. I thought it was July. The Inspire is happening out in DC. But Ignite is happening in September. Now that's still a couple months out, but for those of you who have been there before, or this is a big conference, and usually hotels anywhere near it sell out quickly. You might want to get on it if you're going. You might want to get on getting your plans together, getting your sessions lined up, getting that all planned out now. Going to be a big conference in Orlando. And I hope I will get a chance to see some of you there. I may or may not be in the actual conference. Don't really know at this point, but I do know that I will be in the area, and I will be at least at one or two of the after parties, vendor parties that happen each of the nights during the conference. So I'll maybe get a chance to catch up with a few of you guys there. Okay, so that's what's coming up this the next couple months here. Let's jump over to the Infinity screen and start digging into our content, shall we? All right. Windows Server 2016 is officially supported for Skype for Business Server 2015. I know there have been many that have been waiting for this. We thought this was going to be the announcement right when CU5 came out for Skype for Business, but Microsoft made an important note that even though CU5 is released, Windows Server 2016 is not yet supported at this time. That was a couple of weeks back-ish. However, they've QA'd and done whatever they've needed to on the back end enough to where they've given us the thumbs up, and they put documentation out on the web publicly stating not just that it's supported, but here's how you go about installing all that good stuff. So as you can see, if you're deploying on a Windows Server 2016, the guidance is get connected to the internet and start up Windows Update. Run your setup.exe like you normally would, and then when you're prompted to install updates, choose the connect to the internet to check for updates and click install. Very important. This first time when you install on a Windows Server 2016, it is going to install the base and then grab CU5 from Windows Update. But into the future, once you're all installed, subsequent cumulative updates will not be available through Windows Update on Windows Server 2016. You're going to have to actually go out to the download center to get each CU that comes out. So very good caveat, good thing to know, good thing to bake into your processes as you're planning server maintenance in the future for your on-prem environment. Anyway, very excited to see Windows Server 2016 here. It is about time, and very thankful though to the product team that they, rather than rushing to market and meeting expectations on when we expected to see this here, they held off a little bit. They did a little more work just to make sure they're delivering the most solid and complete offering they can to us. And you got to appreciate that. However, it's not a moment too soon because right around the corner at Ignite, Microsoft's already confirmed they will be talking about Skype for Business Server vNext in their sessions. And it would be crazy if we were talking about Skype for Business vNext and still didn't have Windows Server 2016 support. So I'm glad that this is finally here with a couple months to spare. All right, moving on. Teams. Guys, I feel as I'm watching all the changes that are happening that the writing is truly on the wall here with the relationship between Skype for Business and Teams. I'm not going to say a whole lot more on that because you've heard me go on and on. You've heard what I've wanted via the user voice site, as far as the two being one same backend, but still the ability to have your own separate clients. But more and more things are coming out that are showing the tightening relationship between the two products. So I'm going to cover a couple of those today. And moving forward, I'm not really saying that I'm going to change the name of the show from Skype for B Recap, but I think you're going to see that most episodes are going to have Skype for Business / Teams related news here. That's just the way I see it happening. So, Tom Morgan, Office Servers and Services MVP over at Modality Systems, has put together a blog post highlighting one of Sufatra Rufo, who is one of the primary faces of Microsoft Teams to the public via this user voice site and Twitter. He highlighted one of her comments from the user voice site about the external access topic. Now, Microsoft has already committed to it, yet it continues to be the most voted for item on the user voice site. People want external access. They want federation, and I think it's going to be huge when it gets here. It has been widely known that Microsoft had committed to the end of June for this coming, and it looks like as we get down to the wire, because it is in fact the end of June, and there has been no such announcement, that they may not be able to deliver by the end of June. But she really wants to stress in her post here, it is coming very soon still. It is still a top priority. They are not changing the fact that this is being delivered. It may just not have a June timestamp on it. But we are still right around the corner from external access. So tiny bit more patience. It'll be here soon, and the Teams universe shall rejoice. This will be very cool. So thank you for highlighting this, Tom, and letting us know. Moving on, .NET Framework 4.7 was released recently, and the Skype for Business product team over on Nexthop would like to remind us that they generally follow the Exchange team's guidance on supportability of .NET Framework 4.7, which at this time is please do not install .NET Framework 4.7 on any Skype for Business or Link servers. Clicking on this little link here takes you to the corresponding Exchange page, but they kept it very short and sweet, and that is, don't do it yet. Not something we support. Don't do it unless you're looking for a headache or want to make your week more complicated for some reason. Please do not do this. Simple. All right, let's move on from that. Thanks for the heads up, guys. Okay, and one more blog post from Tom Morgan here. Again, on Teams. I think someone might be looking, as the Microsoft Teams is going to apparently be becoming a MVP category soon. I think somebody might be gunning for a dual Skype for Business / Teams MVP status there, perhaps. But Tom, we thank you for sticking with keeping us informed via these blogs on the latest developments in Teams. We have the topic here, Microsoft Teams now signs you into Skype for Business as well. Very interesting, and like he says, this is worth passing on. Signing into Microsoft Teams now also signs you into Skype for Business. We all know this does not mean on-prem. This is Skype for Business online, part of the same tenant, right? Using UCWA. It happens behind the scenes, but if you monitor your Skype for Business presence from another user's client, you will see the presence actually change or sign in. You can also see it in Fiddler, and he breaks it down for us, for those that love digging into those Fiddler logs. And he points out that it happens both with the Teams client and the teams.microsoft.com website. He says, and this is his thoughts on it, it's likely that this is an initial step before more integration with Skype for Business, such as presence, which I have to say, I 100% agree. That's probably what's happening here. But changing your presence in Teams does not update anything in Skype for Business at this time. So the use of the Teams client, however, is enough to bump your Skype for Business status from inactive to available. Very good to know. Caveat, something to be aware of though, sending instant messages don't show in Teams. The instant message received by the UCWA instance running inside of Teams is declined. So Teams is notified that an IM was sent to the Skype for Business client since they were also signed in, but the conversation is declined and doesn't pop up in Teams. Now, I've kind of seen behavior that makes me think there might be something different happening there. I've seen definitely where I'm not signed into an account at all in a Skype for Business client, but I am signed into Teams, and I've had another user in my tenant reach out to me via Skype for Business client, and that pops up in Teams only because I'm not signed into Skype for Business anywhere else. So there's clearly some really good interaction happening there, as we have seen for a while. But I think the two are melting, growing together, and tightening, and it will be very interesting and worthwhile to keep up with these changes and watch this super carefully as this continues. Obviously, Tom is going to be a great guy to follow to make sure you're keeping up with what's the new and what's the latest. And I will keep announcing everything that I can as these changes roll out via the Skype for Business recap, hopefully each week. Let's go back over to our Infinity screen and back over to me. That's all we've got for this week. Not tons of topics, but big, good, important topics for the last few weeks. Thank you for being patient with me as I've been spotty, if you will, on my ability to execute on an episode every week. I'm trying. I'm trying. It's been a very busy couple weeks, and hopefully we'll get a little bit more stability coming up here really, really quickly. But thank you for watching today. If you enjoyed the show, if it was helpful to you at all, please retweet, reshare, whatever type of social media you do. Feel free to put it back out there, and thank you for the support. You guys have a great rest of your week. For those in the U.S. that will be celebrating a long 4th of July weekend, be safe. Enjoy it, but be safe. All right, guys. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Bye.